Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. We want to take a look at a couple of long-term charts in this video. I want to show you the linear chart and then also the log chart because there are different counts on each of them. Just to give you an idea about new all-time high targets while I am updating our long-term video playlist. So I can recommend that you check out the long-term video playlist. You can find it on the channel. Includes various all-time high targets for your favorite cryptocurrencies. Just showing you here the movement since March 22. I'm looking at Bitcoin as a 1-2 setup, a large 1-2 setup here on the linear chart. I always find the linear chart in most cases more reliable and more realistic in terms of upside targets for cryptocurrencies. In the short term, it doesn't make a difference if you use log chart or linear in most cases. The disadvantage of using the log chart on long-term chart is that it gives you really moon targets. They are often not reliable. Here on the linear chart, you get decent targets for the upside for a third wave. Now this is only a 1-2 setup with a wave 3 to come.
But before we dive deeper into the analysis, first a few words about the sponsor of today's Bitcoin video, Chartprime. Chartprime is a service that provides specific TradingView indicators. There are 5 specific and unique indicators that you can only get through Chartprime if you sign up to one of their plans. These are based on quite complex algorithms and formulas and can be helpful in identifying trade setups, which means they can provide additional signals that could support your trading. Indicators can, for example, also be useful to support Elliott Wave counts to give more confidence. Of course, you don't need to apply Elliott Wave to use Chartprime, and the combination of their indicators alone can provide trade setups and signals as well. They currently offer a 30% limited time discount, so if you are interested in this, check it out. Of course, bear in mind that no indicator works 100% of the time. Here's an example of the Bitcoin chart with one of the range indicators. This indicator combines various indicators in itself, so you can adjust it to your needs, but it basically shows your range resistances, different support resistance levels based on different time frames, and it categorizes them based on their relevance. And this indicator provides you with dynamic support and resistance bands to which the price is reacting. And if you're interested in checking it out, make sure that you use the link in the video description and on their website. You can also read through testimonials and you can join their Discord community, which you can join in case you have any questions about how to use those indicators.
We can zoom out a little bit and we can actually see there is another 1-2 setup here back in 2017, the bull market high, and then another 1-2 setup. So it's actually currently Bitcoin's third 1-2 setup, and that would have serious implications later in terms of upside targets as we take that roadmap and see that price development to the upside materialize. But yeah, let's focus first on the targets for the next all-time high. Again, they might change a little bit depending on the subwave structure. It's only a projection based on what we can see currently in the charts. Target for a third wave is, so we take that low here of March 2020, go to the high of the wave 1, then go to the November low, and with our Fib extension tool, and it gives us a target of and that is just a projection here between 114,000 and 137,000 for a third wave. Typically, you would see that between the 1.618 extension and the 200% extension. Then we get a wave 4 afterwards and a wave 5, and the wave 5 target should take us sort of 275,000. This is really only a projection based on what we see now. The target, for example, for the fourth wave, just that you can get an idea, that depends, of course, where the third wave will peak. But if we just make a projection based on the assumption, okay, maybe it will reach the 200% extension at 137,000, then the fourth wave would come back into the region between 108,500 and 76,400. You can see these areas will get quite large. Percentage-wise, not so much. It's more because the market is so volatile, and if these moves are so extended, then the Fibonacci retracements, they will also grow quite large. It's just pure and simple mathematics. it is what it is in crypto. Yeah, so you will have at some point quite large areas, yeah, support and target and resistance areas, and it's then not possible to refine that. It will be possible as we get closer to that price at some point, when we see the subwave structures, how they evolve. Now, this fifth wave will only be, though, the larger third wave, yeah, because we have here a 1-2 setup and here a 1-2 setup. Didn't label that on this chart, but that would mean this here would complete a third. Afterwards, that we get another fourth and a fifth, which would be an even higher third. I think I did put that onto the chart before. But yeah, this is sort of the roadmap. So this would then cascade higher, but looking at these targets is pointless now. So yeah, this is sort of the projection to the upside. Just wanted to update our long-term video playlist. So for reference, but targets haven't really changed, I think, since the last update. Then just to do a bit of a recap. Well, let's take a look at one of the long-term charts actually for Bitcoin before we go to the short-term, because we've got the long-term log chart for Bitcoin. I haven't updated that for a while, but it's still pretty much relevant. So this is the long-term log chart. Yeah, it shows two different wave counts. Let me move one to the side first. The one, obviously you get to different conclusions on the log chart. It doesn't matter so much about, which one is the truth. Is it the log chart or is it the linear? They can both be used. You just get simply to a different conclusion on the log chart. Here you basically assume that based on the structure, we completed a third wave rally in November 21. This currently is a wave 4 low. And again, it's the same, situation like on the linear chart. We either have the low already in, maybe we get one more low. That's absolutely possible still. But with the movement that already occurred here with Bitcoin, we can currently focus on the upside. Yeah. But what is certainly the case is that if this was a wave 4 low, there is going to be one more high in a fifth wave before we see another drop, a significant drop, right? So you'd be looking at a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 structure, and targets on the log chart. What would they give us? Well, you would get crazy moon targets here on the log chart. But let me see. What we would need to do. So for the log chart, again, you get crazy moon targets. So we have to basically go to waves 1 through 3. Go to the low of the fourth wave, and then you get on the log chart these crazy moon targets that I don't even want to talk about, but they are really long-term targets. So that is a bit pointless. That's why I like to use a linear chart for targets. But we talked about targets, right? Around about 125K, sort of 130K, and then maybe all the way up to 175K. But yeah, this is just a different projection. So it will be interesting how this is going to play out eventually. Is it going to be here the fifth wave which is working out, or is it a third wave on the linear chart? We're going to track that. I'm going to go primarily with the linear chart. I think they could both work out. Just sort of, they could both work out in terms of its general direction anyway. Need to see how this is then going to subdivide. The other count on the log chart would be this one, where we actually completed a larger fifth wave here in November, and this is actually, and this would complete a larger wave 1, and we're now coming down in 2. That would be a very bearish version, because then the move that happened between the all-time high and November 2022 was possibly just an A wave. We're now moving up in a B wave, and resistance is sketched out here on the chart between 32,589 and 49,000. Yeah, this could be a B wave, and we could then come down in a C wave, ultimately in a very bearish version, or very bearish scenario, maybe even to 10K and below. Okay, and this would be a possible scenario where we're saying, okay, we completed a wave 1 of basically the beginning, yeah, and then we're coming down now in a wave 2. But this is not my primary, yeah, not even on the log chart. So this is something that might be worth observing, but nothing, because this ABC is even possible in this fourth wave. Okay, so it's just something to observe. Yeah, I just want to show you that because a few people asked me about the log chart. But now let's dive into the shorter time frame. Here is not much to add. Bitcoin's price action is extremely boring. Boring doesn't necessarily mean bearish or bad. It's just basically here forced to make a decision now because it's below the, do you see that this descending trend line? It's now just below that. It needs to make a decision. So either it completely breaks out to the upside now and should then take out the X wave high at 28,820. And then also the Thursday, 30th of March high at 29,200. Or if it makes a new low here below Monday's low, which was at 27,250, then I would get quite concerned that it will also break below the support area now, because this low, which was made, WXY, yeah, this wave 2, is very close to the key 78.6 Fibonacci retracement of this 1-2 setup. So breaking below that will probably just bring it into the next support area. I think I talked about that already in the last video. There is not much more to add. We're still in the range here. It's boring price action. And the support levels are holding. As long as support is holding, we have to treat it like that. But Bitcoin should really finally start to move. Crypto generally was in a bit more of a friendly mood today. Yeah, especially Ethereum did quite well, but Bitcoin basically just moved sideways. So we just need a bit of patience here. I know it's hard, but that's also why I showed you the long-term video outlook, which a lot of people were waiting for. So hopefully you liked the update about Bitcoin. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.